Thanks for the warning, Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
Do you not trust me? If the mics are hot, you think you have to tell me?
Yeah, no, I do. I do have to warn you. I have to warn Raylene when the mics are hot. And everybody that knows Raylene knows that I have to warn you. Welcome, everybody, to the 802 Scoop Weekly Wrap, filmed live here in the Inside Scoop Studios, 185 North Main Street, Barrie, Vermont. In-house tonight, of course, we have me, and we have the ever-lovely Raylene.
Yeah.
Raylene. And Sam Fisk is joining us. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
I can't complain too much. It's been a long freaking time since I've been behind this microphone.
Yes, it has. You've
So
been a busy
the truth,
guy.
I've been a busy guy, but what it really comes down is Raylene has told me no.
You're so full of
I
shit.
don't believe that for a minute.
So full of shit.
No way.
I did cancel one time. I did. Did I
You
do
did.
it more than once?
A few.
No.
Yeah. Well, we went up to the Legendary, did a
Yeah.
live stream up
But
there.
I think you had some stuff going on at
I
the
did.
State House and
I
stuff.
did.
In the den.
Yeah.
You guys have been at the den.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been a little busy. So want to say super sorry to folks for not being around, but
Skipping out.
We're back. And we're here, and with us we've got, to start it off, Sam Fisk is going to give us some updates.
Yes.
Yes.
So Sam, give us an update.
So I spoke with Rebecca. Rebecca is Matt Reichert's wife, the one we're doing the first annual memorial ride for, raising some money for them. Matt's in the hospital. He's been on the transplant list for a little bit now, but he is now permanently in the hospital until he gets a transplant. And he's been upgraded from a status 4 on the waiting list to a status 2. I'm not quite sure how the statuses work. I just know the lower the number, the more important you are to get your transplant. And I remember going through that with Chris last year and the year before. So there's an important need right now. And the need for this family right now is gas cards, because Rebecca's traveling back and forth from Vermont to Boston to be there with Matt and also be here for their kids and whatever.
And they have quite a few kids.
They do 7, I believe, between the two.
Between the two of them.
Yeah, I don't remember if she had 3 and he had 4 or how it exactly worked, but yeah, they got 7 children between the two of them. So yeah, the important thing right now is gas for her to get back and forth, because she's not working either right now because of everything that's going on with Matt. So I did get a donation last night that I will be forwarding on to her. The donation came from the Sons of the American Legion Barrie Post 10. They generously donated $100. They gave me that check last night, and I had them make it out directly to Rebecca, and I will be passing that on to her as soon as she gets back to Vermont. So if anybody wants to donate, this is what you can do. Go to, somewhere and get a gift card and load money on a gift card. Get it to either Raylene or myself, and before I'm done talking, I will leave my phone number. Get it to either Raylene, myself, or Michael, for that fact, too. And they can get it to me, and then I'll get it to Rebecca.
Yeah. And make sure, like, if you're going to get gas specific, make sure you get something that's mobile.
Yeah.
Or don't get store specific, like Cumberland Farms.
Right, because I don't know if
always
they have a Cumbies in
everywhere.
Boston area.
Right. And so sometimes that makes things difficult.
Yeah, so if you could do like a mobile, or what's some of the other gas stations out there? Sunoco. Or,
And you can even get the vanilla cards or
Yeah.
the Visa cards at Walmart
Yeah.
that can be used for anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe she needs to grab some lunch
Yeah.
or a hotel room if something goes bad or
Yeah.
whatever.
So that's the immediate need right now for them. July 19th, third Saturday in July, kickstands are up at 11 o'clock. Bring all the bikes up. We want to see a bunch of them up at the Den in Williamstown. The Den is sponsoring this year's ride. They have graciously agreed to do that, which I am wholeheartedly thanking them for. Doesn't matter if you ride a bike or not. Come on up. Pay to get in, and we'll feed you. There'll be 50-50 raffle. There'll be silent auction stuff. There'll be some music.
Stuff for the kids.
Stuff for the kids. Bring the kids.
Yep.
Everybody. Make it a family outing.
And there are different prices. I'll give the whole rundown. I'll bring it out here, but
So while she's giving the rundown, exactly what kind of bike?
Any kind of bike.
Any kind?
Michael, you can bring your electric bike if you would like.
his tricycle only goes 15 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
He's
that's
gonna have a
probably not going to
long-ass
work.
ride.
Because it's a long ride. It's 43. I clocked it with my Jeep. I want to say it was just a little over 43 miles.
Well,
It took
you know
me
what?
just about an hour.
I'm probably not going to bring a bike up there, but what I can do is I can bring my four-wheeler up there.
Oh, no.
And I can trail from there.
How fast can you go with your four-wheeler?
I would never go over the speed limit that is listed on. So I don't know how fast it goes. It only goes up to 25.
Eric, if you believe that, you're some oceanfront property. Isn't that how it goes?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So have you ridden that electric bike down the Bearmount Pilly Road yet to go to National Life? Because I remember that being a conversation the last time I was on the podcast.
Yeah. So I have not yet. I have ridden it down to Cumberland Farms, and it was a very interesting. Let me just tell you, I'm a big
Okay,
man.
I'm listening.
Okay, and it's been 30. It's probably been 30 years since I've ridden a bike, and
it's got
even
three
a
wheels.
trike. I know, but it's still a little sketchy. It's still a little sketchy. Okay, don't be judging me.
Yeah.
Don't be judging me. Don't be
Hey,
judging
pick
me.
up my motorcycle tomorrow, so I'm ready to go.
Well, and maybe I should get a motorcycle, but I got the e-bike for now.
I got a big one.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
picked
mean,
up a Kawasaki Nomad 1600, fully dressed.
you don't have a Harley?
No.
I feel like you would be a Harley guy.
I really like Harley. The problem
His
is...
wallet doesn't.
That's right.
I'm not gonna lie. If I'm
This
gonna get a
motorcycle-
bike, it's gonna be a Harley.
This motorcycle I just picked up, had it been a Harley, probably would have been twice the price.
Yep.
Easily.
Yep. So the ride again is July 19th. Kickstands up at 11. It's $25 per person, and that gets you the meal. And then if you go on the ride, it's also going to give you 5 of the 50-50 tickets. If you're not going on the ride, the $25 includes just one of those tickets. The cost for children 12 and under is $10, and that includes the meal and the Nerf fun with Under Attack.
Nice.
So, but music, food, 50-50, silent auction, and we still need donations
We do.
for the silent
we
auction.
do. So far, I've spoken with Ruthiers, Quick Lube. They're going to do something. I've got something coming from, I spoke with John at Wilkins.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do something, and I keep forgetting her name. Yipe Stripes.
Valerie
said
Yes.
that they were going to do something as well, and you said you were going to do something. So,
Yes,
so we've got some stuff, but yeah, we could always use more.
we could use more.
So if there's any businesses out there that are watching the podcast tonight, or will watch it on a
Yeah.
rerun.
And even individuals.
Yep.
Our good
Yeah.
friend Barb Drew, she has a little remote control pink Jeep
Yep.
that she said that she would donate to
Nice.
go in the raffles. So
Yeah, even individuals, if you do crafts and you've got a bunch of crafts and you would like to sort some out and get rid of some and you want to donate some, get a hold of us.
Yeah.
So just to throw this out there, my phone number is 802-249-4937. If you want to donate gas cards or a Visa gift card for Rebecca, feel free to call my phone. Or you can, like I said, you can get a hold of Raylene or Michael. Get a hold of one of us, and we'll be more than happy to go to wherever you want to meet and collect it and get it to Rebecca. Like I said, that's almost an immediate need that she needs that stuff for
sure.
transportation.
I accidentally pressed enter too quickly. Is that the number, 802-249-4937?
37. Yep,
Okay.
that is correct.
Awesome. Sorry about that.
that's all right. We'll
You're
forgive
good.
you.
We'll forgive you this time. Just don't let it happen again.
Well, since we're talking about Yipes and the Den, we should probably give them a plug.
Right, that they are both sponsors of 802 Scoop. And I mean, we love them. Val is actually doing some work for us right now. She has done all kinds of work. She has Michael's hat. They did for us all of our sweatshirts and T-shirts, and we have a few other things in the pipe getting ready to go, and they do great work down there.
Val's a
Quality
great
work.
lady.
Yeah,
Val's a
quality
great
work.
lady.
Amazing
was
stuff.
loud.
Good stuff. And then the Den. I can't say enough good things about Jeff and the crew down there. They do amazing. He gives so much to the community. Their food is absolutely amazing. They do lunch every day now. They have a great lunch menu. They do specials. Every Friday night is prime rib night at the Den. If you don't know, that starts at 5 p.m. And they just, I mean, the menu is chock full of amazing things. And you should check it out.
So I'm looking at their Facebook page right now, the Yipes, and she's doing some funny business.
She is?
She is.
What is that?
She's making T-shirts
Yeah.
for Thunder Road.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play that right now. I'm not going to play the sound because there was like music and I don't want to get...
So why is that funny business,
So
Michael?
she's doing funny business. She did a video of them making the shirts, the Thunder Road shirts, which is really awesome right here in the city.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
so if you want a Thunder Road shirt, I'm sure you can buy them up at Thunder Road. But if you want to make your own shirt, you can call Val.
Well,
and
and she does all of the ones that they sell at Thunder Road. That's where they come from.
So you can reach out to her directly.
Yikes.
And if you want to make your own, you know, like we do, and we get our little
Yeah.
icons on them and everything else, and she created this.
Yeah, she created our.
And all you have to do is give her a call.
And that's the thing she does. She makes. If it's in your head, that's all this was for us. It was something that I had in my head. This is what I want to do. And actually, at first, I didn't even know what I wanted it to look like. And you saw my first few designs where the microphone was on top of an ice cream cone and, you know, all kinds of different things. And she took it in a whole new direction. And she's just super creative and does amazing work. And it's well worth it. The quality that you get is awesome.
She's the one that came up with the design for the motorcycle logo for the Chris Fisk Memorial Ride.
Yep, the stickers and stuff.
I went in and gave her like an idea of what I wanted,
Yep,
and she tweaked it and made it so much better.
yeah, yep.
She's just a great lady.
Yes, she is.
You know, if she watches your podcast, hats off to you, Val. You're really awesome.
And we'll, of course, give some love towards the Den as well, since they're going to be where people are kicking off from.
Yep.
And there's a post on their page right now that I'm going to read, which says, "It might be hot and humid outside, But here at the Den, it's 65
65.
degrees. So inside the beer, and the beer is a lot colder than that.
Yeah.
Come on down, enjoy both. What you don't drink? It's fine. They have an amazing menu of
Yeah.
different food items, so you can come down there.
Yeah.
And the line dancers are going right now.
Right.
So
Awesome.
get down there soon
6
because
to
they're
7,
closing soon.
Right, 6 to 7 is the beginners, and 7 to 9 is the advanced.
We
So.
didn't go. I
And
was
my-
supposed to go.
Michael did take a spin out there last time.
Did he?
I
The
did.
last time you saw us
Oh,
at
yeah,
the
yeah, when I
Supreme
saw
Stand
you at
together,
the-
we went over and
Right,
he
you
got
did.
right out there with them. He
Oh,
was
did
trying
you?
to boot,
I
scoot,
did.
and boogie.
Nice.
did.
Yeah,
The scoot, boot, and boogie. Boot and boogie.
boot, scoot, and boogie.
And
Yeah.
yeah, but so my hat's off to Jeff too, because
Yeah.
you know I was trying to find a place to do the memorial ride, and I had put out a few phone calls, and then I spoke with Jeff, and he instantly jumped right on it,
Yeah.
like he was ready to go.
Yeah.
So my hat's off to Jeff too. Jeff's a really great guy, and I really appreciate him allowing us to do it there.
Yeah.
Nice.
It'll be a great day.
I will say that, as you know, we talked about how I haven't been on for a long time, and you know what they say, when the cat's away, the mice will play, and apparently Raylene and Jeff Bergeron have been running their little mouth about me through the entire week, and that's okay. Hey, you know what? I got big shoulders.
Month.
Last month or so, they were complaining about this right here. They weren't complaining, they were
I wasn't
talking about
complaining,
it.
talking.
So you can just kiss my dairy air. So
I was just
as
curious what
everybody
what
knows,
as you
what
call it, a large man is doing with a pink unicorn. That's all.
so
Just curious.
this is a 3D printed unicorn dice roller.
It's a dice roller.
Right. And this is an
An
owl,
owl.
which
Sits on the back.
sits on the back.
Right, which I showed.
So you put the dice in there, and it comes out down here. Okay?
Because shaking it and throwing it on the table just isn't good enough.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. So
Obviously
for
not for
folks
him.
that don't know, I'm surprised you don't know, I like D&D.
oh yes, they know.
I play Dungeons and Dragons, and one of my characters is named Sandy Beach. So I role play a character named Sandy Beach, and she has a familiar, which is an owl. All right. And she's a warlock, so she has a celestial warlock, and that would be a celestial
unicorn.
god,
Oh,
which would
boy.
be the unicorn. So
Again, you know. So I'm not. So he talked me into. He said just try it. Just play. Just come down. Now there's a lot more women in your group that you have now. When I tried it, it was me and like 4 or 5 of you guys, and I tried, but they role play. They like change their voices. They talk like wizards and gremlins or whatever the hell you call them, little warlocks and what are those, trolls and all that stuff. They do all that stuff.
Oh my.
They like really get into it and to play this game, and it takes hours.
it does take hours.
Like they play for 4 or 5 hours in a night, once a week, 4 or 5 hours.
Correct. Right behind you.
Yeah, right behind us. But it's not like playing cribbage or pitch or spades or something
Right.
where there's some action.
Hey, speaking of playing games and action, the American Legion, Barry, Post 10, every Tuesday night,
It's bingo.
we host bingo.
Yeah.
Our jackpot right now, are you ready? $1,600 and 55 numbers or less.
We should go to play bingo.
We could.
But you know what happens when you do that and you're the new one and you win? It's bad. It's scary.
Yeah.
Like you need a bodyguard to get the hell out of there. If you're
Yeah.
new to the game
Yeah.
and you take that
and
jackpot
you win, oh,
after those
it's gonna be
ladies have been
trouble,
waiting.
trouble.
Oh,
So yeah, so doors open at 4. Warm up start at. We've been starting at 5:45. And the regular game started about 6:45.
and the meal, the Tuesday
yep,
night meal
yep.
starts at 5. And they
Yep.
always love for you to call ahead and
Absolutely,
order that.
absolutely.
I believe I saw that this coming week is going to be barbecue chicken.
Yep.
And the number to call is 802-479-9058.
There you go. Look at that. This past week they had a Salisbury steak, which was really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, really good. Mashed potatoes.
And you can dine in or
That's
take
right.
out.
Absolutely.
And it is in the same space as the bingo.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you're all good to go.
So come play bingo, have
some
something to
dinner.
eat,
Yeah.
and it's only $12 for the meal.
Michael's giving me looks.
Well, you know, you're hating on you were hating on my D&D thing, and
I'm not hating on it.
just
I was
saying.
just wondering.
So
I just knew there was a backstory. And
there is.
But we had a great time creating our own. I'm not going
Yeah, I
to
bet
lie
you
to
did. I bet
you.
you did. You know what? You're so lucky that it didn't pop up in my news feed because I would have been like blowing you up.
You would have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it, and it's actually so. What's really cool about it is that the DM and her husband, they own a 3D printing company. Yes,
I need to be in touch with them.
you do.
Yes.
I'm asking for the name of their company. It's Stephen Smith.
But I've told you before about my dilemma, right?
What's your dilemma?
So we all know that I have had an amputation. Well, the inserts that Keene Medical that I need, the inserts that I need for my shoes at Keene Medical after my insurance cost me $936 out of pocket. If I could find somebody with a 3D printer, I think they could make me the same thing.
Oh, they might be able to.
They might be able to. Yeah. I mean, I could ask. The only problem is that if it's a, I mean, I don't know
a
if
3D
They
printer.
can even put unicorns on it and make it pink if they want to.
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, they can put toes on it if they want to.
So they do these 3D printings, and this was a gift that they gave me, and I love it.
That's
I
super
think it's
cool.
amazing.
But I would
mean,
almost
that
say
is
if they
super
could
cool.
do something like that, why couldn't they do
Yeah.
the thing that you need?
So I will say that I don't know what they do for designing it, but you have to design these things, and I don't know how that would
Well,
work.
I have
with,
one that I paid a fortune for. So,
correct,
right?
but
they
you
could
still
probably
have to code it,
mock
and
up
that's
after.
where
Oh.
it gets a little sketchy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Worth a shot to check, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because like,
Remind me, and I will ask.
It's insane. It really is. And I always thought, well, if I knew somebody with a 3D printer, I might be able to.
You know, it's so ridiculous, the price of stuff. You know, it's
Yeah.
just crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is.
after insurance, you still have to pay $900 out of pocket. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, so let's talk about
Where do we go with this
where
one?
do we go with this one?
Let's just
Where
dive right
does
in.
Michael want to start?
Yeah.
Just dive right in.
What road or street do I want to start on this little path?
Oh, I know.
Oh, what's this? What?
Church Street.
Church? It's not Church Street.
Well, it kind of still is, right? For right now.
I think so.
Okay.
Did they pass it? They actually
Yes.
passed
Yes,
it, right?
they passed it.
But they haven't changed the sign, though.
So Burlington
Not
is
yet.
changing their Church Street, which if they're going to change Church Street to something, they
Marketplace?
should probably change it to something that fits what's going on there, like, you know, stuff that's happening there. But I don't know if that's really a welcoming place. I mean, the last time I went to Church Street, I didn't feel very welcome. And we're welcoming Canadians down. They're going to come down. They're going to be like, oh my goodness, this place is drug infested. I don't want to come to the States anymore.
Right, exactly. There's a lot going on up there, and I mean, if you can't make your own people feel safe and like they want to be downtown, what the hell makes you think that you're going to change the name of the street and that's going to all of a sudden make it all better? You got a lot more work to do than change the name of the street,
So
darling.
hang on a minute. What are they changing the name to?
Canada Street.
Canada
Oh my
Street.
goodness.
Yes. So they're changing the name to Canada Street, which is fine. I mean,
But why? Why the sudden change in the name of the street?
They say to be welcoming to Canada and the people that come down from Canada to shop and people have been coming from Canada to shop for many years and the
Yeah,
ones
like
that
forever.
are they probably still will, but not as many. And just like not as many Vermonters are going there to shop
No.
anymore. I mean, it used to be a place, I would go up maybe once, sometimes twice a month to hit up one of the clubs or,
Yeah.
Walk Church Street and get some dinner. And it was just a nice place to be, to
It
kind
used
of
to
hang
be.
out and sit on the, people watch.
Sit down at Battery Park or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, it used to be a really nice area.
Listen to music at
Yeah.
night and stuff, and it's there's no way I would go now,
But that's
day
almost-
or night.
But that's almost anywhere you go today.
Yeah,
Look at Rutland,
yeah,
the city of Rutland. That actually used to be a really nice place to go.
Yeah.
I was born in Rutland. I
Yeah.
still got family that lives down that way. But I wouldn't go down there and hang out today.
yeah, yeah. It's
Every
scary.
area has changed
Yeah.
drastically.
And that area, Burlington area, really bad. And
Yeah.
and my belief is it was started with defund the police, and
Yeah.
when you started
want to talk about
shitting-
that too.
Yeah, when you start shitting on the people that are there to protect you, and you no longer think that, you need them, whew,
Yeah.
stuff went sideways quickly.
So just want to make it clear that it's not a permanent, it's not legal, or
Right.
it's not permanent.
It's a temporary
It's a
change.
temporary name change. Mm-hmm. And it's starting in July, and it's aimed to hopefully bring Canadians down to enjoy the street, because they saw a 30 to 40% drop, I guess, and we saw a 30 to 40% drop in border crossings last year.
Well, and the merchants in Burlington have spoke loud and clear,
Yeah.
and said,
Were they saying that they need to change it to Canadian?
no,
Canada
they were
Street?
saying we need more police. We need to clean things up down here because we're losing business.
Let's just get this clear. So the business people are just whining, right?
Right, yeah.
Just
Right,
whining.
that's what they call
And
it here
that's-
in Barrie.
Yes.
Yeah, we
the
whine.
business people are just whining about the problems.
Yeah.
And just because of their whining, there's been a 30 to 40% decrease in,
Right,
in
right.
traffic.
It has nothing
that-
to do with
okay.
the crime and the vandalism and the pooping in the park.
Shitting
and
in the
drugs.
streets.
Yeah, shitting in the streets.
In the
and-
drug use.
Yeah, it has
All I
nothing
can
to
think
do with
of,
any
do
of
you
that.
remember when this first started happening in San Francisco? Like the pooping in the streets? There was a little jingle. It was pooperoni in San Francisco streets. You don't remember that?
No.
Oh, well, you remember the commercial though, Rice-A-Roni?
Yes, I know
Rice-A-Roni.
Rice-A-Roni. Yeah.
The San Francisco
Francisco
tree.
Street.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So we'll have to get a little jingle for
Good
Burlington
gracious.
because Barrie is going to take care of the problem.
Well, they're
'Cause
trying.
They passed the first reading
The
of the
first
ordinance.
reading, yes. So now we go on to the second reading and then smooth sailing.
Yeah, and I guess Nicholas.
There was
had
only
talked-
one nay vote, and that was from Ward 1 Councillor Sonia Spalding.
Who's
For,
up next year?
Yep.
no, what's this
The city ordinance, which is, well, I wish we had the copy of it with us.
Yeah.
I should have asked Jeff to leave us
We'll
one.
have to, we'll have a time where we dig down into the ordinance
Right,
and
piece by
discuss it.
piece by piece. But
It's funny. I went to the meeting, and it was interesting that I went to the meeting because we had a little conversation about the flag issue.
yes,
which
they can hang right here.
they can hang,
185 North Main. It would be perfect out those two front windows if they hung it, the two corners and it draped down the front of our building.
Oh,
The
wow.
city
Please.
can't hang a flag,
The city can't.
and that's all it is. And technically,
Why can't the city hang a flag?
so about 4 years ago, 3 years ago,
3 years.
3 years ago, something like that. I introduced charter change to
Oh,
make
okay.
it so that the city could only put up
3.
the Berry flag,
Yeah.
the POW flag,
Yeah.
the United States flag, and the state of Vermont flag, and that's it.
Gotcha.
I didn't. This was during the whole. It was 4 years ago because it was during the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and
Okay.
people were like, "I want to put this flag up. I want to put that flag up,"
Right.
and I'm like, "This is not a conversation for city councilors. We should just end it." And it did, and everybody else in the city was like, "Yeah, no, but we don't want you going back and
Right,
forth."
it was on
because,
people voted. It was
right
on the ballot.
It was on the.
ballot.
It was a charter change.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and the thing is that you can't put, because somebody had come in and they wanted to put up the French flag to honor the 250th year of the it was something like that, of the Marquis de Lafayette coming through Barrie. I think that's what she said, and she wanted to put the French flag up, and I was like, no, you can't do that.
Right.
The city can't do that, and the thing is that in this particular case, maybe everybody's okay with it, but there might be somebody that does not like that French flag going
Right.
up,
Yep.
and the council should not be embroiled in these kind of cultural questions.
Right.
They should be focusing on fixing our freaking potholes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
City politics.
Right.
Yeah.
City politics, you keep it local. The city council shouldn't be focusing on that stuff. It should be providing recreational opportunities for our community. They should be focusing on potholes. They should be focusing on dredging our frickin' rivers
Yeah,
instead of getting rid of the
infrastructure
Berlin
and-
Street Bridge.
infrastructure and
Yeah, all of that stuff.
yeah.
So
and what we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
They are available to deal with the property crimes, the vandalism,
Right.
the loitering, the harassment, the aggressive panhandling. Those are things that they can address to make sure that their city is a safer place and that everybody feels safe to be down here, whether you're shopping, whether you
Yep.
live here, or you're somebody coming in from another town. This is downtown for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's with East Montpelier, Plainfield, Cabot, this is
Berlin.
downtown for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not just us, Orange, Washington, Williamstown.
Graniteville.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when you talk about making Berry City a safe place, a safe and healthy place, you're talking about making it that for a whole lot of people,
Yep.
not just the people that reside here. And we need that. We need that, or we need to keep our businesses going, and we want things to stay thriving. We don't want a ghost town. People complain about that now. Oh, this store is empty and that store is empty. Well, a lot more are going to empty if we don't start taking the bull by the horns and making people feel as though they are supported to be down here, and then those that come here are safe
yeah,
and comfortable.
and it was a good conversation. I'll say that.
I thought it was a great
It was a very good
conversation.
conversation.
Yes, it was.
I get a little irritated with some comments and stuff, like asking poor Nicholas. Somebody was asking him about whether or not there was a study done on this ordinance, and And he's like, no, but Burlington has it, and Burlington has the policy, because that's what they were talking about. And you know, I am curious whether or not Burlington did a study on it, which my guess is they probably didn't read any studies.
Right.
You know, and it's
And if they did, that's probably why they're $1.8 million in the hole accidentally.
I know. And did you? And I heard that not only are they 1.8 million in the hole, but they're gonna cut police.
Yeah.
Like I
That's
don't
what
know
they
who
go
the,
to first
I don't
every
know who the
time.
police officers are, but
need
hashtag
you.
Barry's hiring.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Barry is hiring.
and we
Please
and
come
we would
to Barry.
appreciate you.
Burlington's
Yes.
huge.
Yeah.
They need all
Yeah,
the police they have.
They need they need as much as they can get, but they're, you know, I will say this. I do feel bad for. I feel bad for the mayor up there. That's not going to be fun. That's not. I know. I'm being nice. I feel bad for the mayor. She's got a hole to fill that she's not going to be able to fill, but by helping her community out, because she's going to hurt her community by getting rid of police.
Well, what's going to happen is
I know.
defunding the police is like defunding your fire department, and then complaining because your house burns down.
She was just elected last year. Oh wait, this would be her fault.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Right? No.
Yes.
Is
it
it
would be
is
her
it her fault?
It
Okay.
is her fault.
Okay, never mind. I don't know. I mean, okay, never mind. But I do feel bad that, you know, I don't feel bad about the police, because I'm hoping that they're going to come down to Barry.
Well, I that would be great.
That
I
would
did
be
see
amazing.
though we have.
I do feel bad that
in the city
for
though
the people
I've
in
seen that
Burlington.
they have had a couple of graduates of the academy.
Yes.
Oh,
So
for the city? Nice.
So that it definitely takes a little while though. They need to get through the academy,
Yep.
then they have to, you know, shadow, and so it takes a little while before they're out there
process.
on their own. But it's nice to see that a couple have been hired. We shared those posts and congratulated them and welcomed them aboard, and good to see. And I for one can tell you, and I've seen it. I've seen the chief walking the streets during the day, out and about, up and down Main Street, other locations. The officers here, sometimes they're in a car, sometimes they are shown on camera walking. They're on foot in the middle of the night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. They're out there walking and with their flashlights, doing their stuff on Main Street. And I greatly appreciate that. We were having a real bad problem here for a while. And I think between the videos and people not liking that the videos were out everywhere and everybody knew who they were, between the videos and the police presence, I think that, you know, things have really changed around here. And I certainly feel more comfortable with where we are at. And I definitely feel more comfortable that I haven't had to pick up shit out of the stairwell in like a month.
Yeah, and that was one of the questions when I was talking to, or when I got up to spoke, comments was, you know, hey, we can all agree that needles at a swimming area, not good. Needles
Yeah.
underneath our gazebo, not good. Poop on our gazebo, poop on porches, not good. And turning to Brad, who's had 35 years of police work,
Yeah.
and asking him, hey, will this ordinance help with dealing with those issues? And without skipping a beat, he said, yes, it will. I had to push it over to him and tell him to say it again and louder.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's very important that, you know, that ordinance gets passed. And I'm really glad that it went through its first reading. And then they discussed the Neighborly Barry Initiative.
Yes.
And, I mean, if Burlington's getting rid of their police officers, they can come down here. We can share that
Neighborly thing.
Neighborly thing with Burlington, because it's got the B, Barry Burlington. We could send that on up there and tell them to bring their police down here.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll trade you.
Trade you.
Yeah, and it's not that, and I don't want to say that totally about, I mean, I appreciate that Beth was willing to put in that kind of work and time into thinking about these
But
things.
the thing that frustrates me though, Raylene, is that this is already being done by by people
People
in our
in our
community.
community,
And-
right.
And to hire a new person that we can't afford
Forward.
to fill a freaking pothole.
Exactly.
But to hire someone to be an additional, I mean, we've got a homeless coordinator.
Yeah.
We've got the crisis interventionalist.
Yeah.
We've got, I think, another crisis interventionalist. Okay.
Washington
Right?
County Mental
Washington
Health
County Mental Health
is-
down here. All the churches.
Very up.
All of this going on. And we're adding another layer. And it's just, it's another layer that we
Which
can,
I agree with you. That was like the end of my would have been the end of my
Sorry.
comment that, I appreciate that she did all that, but the what you just said was brought up, and it's true. We have all of those things, and those things aren't working on their own.
Correct.
So now we need this to enhance what we're already doing and kind of take charge a little bit.
Although I do
because-
like the neighbor captains. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
That,
You'd want to be the captain of your neighborhood?
What was?
That's going to be
Your
the
taser?
taser I'm going to
Oh
buy.
my God.
I'm going to go on, like, go around at night,
Your
walking
neighborhood
around.
Your neighborhood captain? I'll get him. Good God.
Oh man.
And Amy made a very valid point, which really does need to happen. Amy Galford,
She always makes valid points.
she does, and I wish she would run for city council.
Yeah,
Anyway,
me too.
so I'm moving, not against Michael, because Michael's next up, so not this
Right.
time. But she made a very valid point about the neighborhood watches, right? And Lucas was really strong on that. And because of COVID, it just kind of like died
Went
out.
by the wayside. Yep.
Yeah. And it certainly is something that needs to be brought up, which Jeff has talked about, Jeff Bergeron.
And so did Donald Ruthier. And
Oh,
we
yeah, that's right. It
actually
was
we had a
Don.
conversation about that. I did yesterday with somebody because they wanted to know the thoughts on why we don't deal with this kind of stuff over in Courier Park that we deal with in City Hall Park. One, I think Courier Park is a neighborhood.
Yeah.
If that stuff was going on in Courier Park, the police department would get 20 calls within minutes time.
Yep.
So there are too many eyes. Where City Hall Park, people are coming and going, they're going to work, they're going here, they're going there. They're not hyper focused on this area. They don't live right there. Their kids aren't playing in the front yard, whatever. And then at night it gets quiet downtown. And so again, there's not as many eyes on you. So I think that Courier Park at the moment is the place kind of because it's more neighborhood. Same with Playground 2000. It's not like it's past the neighborhood. So once you're up there, you're certainly kind of up there on your own and down in Rotary Park and near the swimming hole and those sorts of things. It's not like there's houses all around you.
Right.
And so those things, I think that Courier Park can still kind of be, and not that nothing happens over there, because we know it does every once in a while. There's a problem or vandalism or something. But for the most part, it's kind of still the gem of the city. And thankfully, because that gives us a safe place to be for Wednesday nights, for the food trucks and farmers market and the concerts.
Yeah,
And
concert.
Yeah. Holly runs a tight ship over there with the neighborhood watch. So
And I think that's always been a fairly decent neighborhood over by Courier Park too.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you got Hooker and Whitcomb Funeral Home over there.
Yeah.
And you got the Masonic Temple that's right there.
Yeah.
I think that's always been a pretty well respected
I think
neighborhood.
so. Yeah.
I wanted to make a joke about how he was talking about how Hookers is over there, but I didn't. But that
Perfect.
it was very tempting.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I mean, it's a very nice, it's a nice little neighborhood
Yeah.
there.
For being downtown Barrie, it's a pretty nice looking neighborhood too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of crap around.
Yeah.
But
no,
you
not
know,
at all.
I was talking to somebody at the concerts in the park, and they said that they wouldn't let their. Somebody told me that they wouldn't let their kids go into the porta potty down there because last year.
I know people
Oh,
that wouldn't
really?
do that either. Yeah.
Well, because they found a person down there last year,
Right.
which is
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Spilled over right out of it, but
Yeah.
that didn't happen at the park. That happened on the backside of.
No, I think it was there.
Oh, it happened up there too.
Yeah.
Because one happened over at Capstone as well.
wow.
Yeah,
We got some problems. That's for
we
sure.
do have some problems,
Yeah.
but we're
Legislature
working on
isn't
them.
going to fix it though.
We're working on
Right.
them though. We are working
We
on
are.
things.
City's working on it. There's no doubt
But
about that.
Montpelier is not. Michael, what happened?
No. Montpelier's not working on it. We're
What
we're done
happened,
for the
Michael?
session. Well, we passed education reform.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we passed, as somebody said, not education reform, but education tax reform, which is kind of what we need.
Mm-hmm.
So, I supported it, and I know that Teddy did. He's taken far more grief than I am, because the people that really didn't like it are like the Vermont Superintendents Association, the Vermont Principals Association, the Vermont NEA, the VSBA, all the lobbyist groups and that deal with education. They were really against it. So, or Teddy's taking a lot of crap for it. Me, like most of the people that I know that supported me don't really. I think a lot of them understand that, something had to change. And the thing with this education reform is that for Barrie, we're not going to see like structural change, but we will see in Barrie City, not Barrie Town, we will see a decrease in our taxes, and our kids are going to get more money. As a state rep that represents Barrie City, my taxes are going down, and the kids in my school district are going to get more money.
The one thing that I
Twist
think,
my arm on that one.
Right.
so, and I think this was part of the education thing too, is the tax on second homeowners, and that's all part of it as well.
So
And that part of it, if you're out of state and you have a second home here, but in-state people that have second homes, there's a lot of people that, you have family camp, and it's been in your family for 100 years on the lake, and you inherited it. And you certainly don't have that second home because you have gobs and gobs of money. It's something that has been in your family, a part of your entire life. It's a part of, it's generations and memories, and that's not a second home.
right, but I think the and I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of the tax proposal. So, and maybe I shouldn't talk about it until I know like all the ins and outs, and then I
Well,
can speak.
that's definitely the way I read it, and I know many other people read it, is that it's a second home, whether it's a camp
But you
or.
have currently right now, there's the non-residential rate. So there's the yeah. You know what?
Right,
Maybe I should.
yeah, you should, because, and that's true, there is the non-residential rate, but the taxes are going to go up for a second home, whether
All I can
whether
say
you're in state or out of state.
is that
if you have two homes, you're screwed, pretty much.
what we should do is we should tax the shit out of people that don't live in the state of Vermont.
Correct.
And they just have a home here because they're not paying taxes for income tax.
Correct.
So we're not collecting that money.
Or are we collecting DMV fees?
Yep.
Anything. We are collecting nothing from them except for property tax.
Yeah. Something that I want to deal with next year.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd get too many people like, oh, what about that poor person that owns their own home up here and they live in New York and they're making $500,000 a year? oh, you should feel bad for them.
Right.
I
And
don't
they-
think
and
I'm
they
going to
just
get
buy
very
this
many
big,
people that say
beautiful,
that.
home here so that they can
500,000
escape for a
isn't that
weekend.
much.
But no, it's not that much. But so it's far more than I make. But
All the trust fund babies out there
right,
that move up to Vermont or
we know a few of those trust fund babies that have moved here.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, we do.
Some of them have gotten pushed around a little, even literally.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
You're welcome, Michael.
I appreciate that. All right, moving on. That's too much.
Are you
That's
spinning?
too much. That's too much. Thank you so very much. What have we not talked about?
Well, what's going on at school board? You haven't really talked about school board stuff for a really
So-
long time.
School board has been it. There's no crazy stuff going on anymore. It's just like
It's just boring.
it's
School
just
board
boring
stuff.
school board stuff the way that it probably should be.
Well, and that's good. So
And-
you have a superintendent. She's staying. And how long can Joanne stay? Is this like a
Well,
does
she
this
stopped
happen every
taking her
year?
retirement. She stopped taking her retirement.
Okay.
So that means she can stay as long as she wants to work.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So she's doing, she's doing her job. It was frustrating that I couldn't get that bill passed, but
You have
hey,
to be pretty damn dedicated to come out of retirement and decide
Yeah.
I'll work again.
pretty dedicated to Barry.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I
for
mean. You have
sure.
to be pretty dedicated
Yep.
Yeah.
to do such a thing. No, I mean that's awesome. But I want to go back to Montpelier and like what do you feel was your biggest accomplishment in Montpelier this year?
My personal biggest accomplishment,
Yeah, or is
So-
the one thing that you supported the most? And
the one thing that I supported the most was age appropriate design code. And that's S69, and that is the legislation that will require social media companies to put some guardrails on how they interact with our children. And just the stuff that they're doing to our children is disgusting. It puts like super, super low bar restrictions in. Like, how about you make it so that an adult can't reach out to a child? I feel like that's something that should be like a no-brainer, right? Don't have notifications going off at like 11 o'clock at night when a kid needs to be sleeping. Try, have it so that the death roll, the algorithm is not causing kids to commit suicide, which it currently is. And yeah, that was probably one of my favorite points of passage was that that the cell phone bill, it was put into the miscellaneous, so there will be
no cell
no
phones
cell
in schools.
phones in schools, and that's going to be awesome. I'm remotely proud of the CHIP program. It didn't come out the way that my committee had put it out there. It was supposed to.
So tell people what CHIP program
Oh,
is.
I'm sorry. So, community housing infrastructure plan. So, it's a TIF-based program, and unfortunately, the way that it's set up now is that it only is beneficial for new developments. So it would be great for Prospect Heights, which I'm super excited about. But the way that I made sure that it left our committee looking like would be that for folks that are down on our north end, they would qualify for a CHIP program going into place that would rise them up. Whether that be stilts or, making the foundation higher, getting them out of the floodplain,
Elevating
buying
the
right,
grade of the lawn, whatever.
whatever it is, so that they could do remediation on their property and the city could pay for it through that program. And it was such a letdown because I I multiple times stated it has to have this in there, and I would not support it if it didn't. And it just, the committee, we passed it out. It was, discussed in other committees, and it was removed. And then the rural caucus tried to put it back in there, and it was voted down by the body. It was a sad loss for Berry City. And next year I plan on submitting
And you
an
and Teddy
amendment.
both wanted that as well?
We both supported the CHIP program when it came to the floor. He didn't support the rural caucus, but I don't know what his reasonings were. But yeah, it was a very sad loss for Barry for sure.
And then the floodplain stuff was also a loss. Or is that part of the whole thing?
The floodplain,
Or the
the
what do
flood
we
bill
call it?
passed.
They did.
It
So,
did,
or
yeah.
they can have,
Oh,
they were
the
gonna.
wetlands.
The wetlands, I mean, yes, the wetlands.
No, that did not pass.
That did not pass.
That
Yeah, the
did not
wetland
get-
stuff did not pass.
No, that did not. The wetlands legislation, so for what folks, it's a piece of legislation that was introduced on the Senate side. It was to make it so that we can get like 20 more houses up in the Prospect Heights area. And I had put it on the wall in the house.
And it got
And-
stomped on hard.
So the minute it hit the floor, I was like mad writing all the committee members, and I'm like, hey, wetlands, this is really good for Barry, try to get it through. And it's the environmental committee, and the chair of the environmental committee was not having any of it.
Yeah. And you
And-
weren't talking about like literally destroying this
No,
property.
it was
You were
just
talking
the setbacks.
setbacks.
Right. The setbacks go from, I think it was like 100 to 25 or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but it would have
But not
added-
even a compromise.
No.
It was
There
just done.
No.
Yeah.
She clearly stated that
Throwing
she
darts
was,
at that sucker.
Yeah, she was not gonna put. She informed me that was not going to happen, and she informed her committee members that were lobbying her to take it off that it was not going to happen. However, there was some some shenanigans going on in the Senate side, and I don't know what happened, but Tom does, and I'm sure if you ask Tom, he will tell you.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
There's a message here from Barb. Want my grandkids to have cell phones in schools, and just in case of an emergency, there's no consequence if they do not obey. Barb, I'll have to chat with you about cell phones. I love you. We'll have to chat about it. But
Yeah.
so yeah, it was a very interesting session. I'll have to say that it was very interesting.
Do you want me to read something that happened today now? Before, I don't know
Yeah.
where we're at. We're getting close to wrap. So there was a lot of talk today about police being present on Route 14 in Woodbury. I actually, Barb sent me a message right around 10:30, just before I went live with Richard Wabi and Erica Scott. But here's the press release. Vermont State Police investigates suspicious death in Woodbury, Vermont. The state police investigating a suspicious death. The investigation began at 3:30 p.m. Thursday. I don't know why, because it was on the scanner way earlier in the day, but June 19th, 2025, when police received a report that a body had been found at the roadside pull-off along Route 14 in Woodbury. First responders arrived and confirmed the individual, a woman, was deceased. Investigators are treating the death as suspicious. No one is currently in custody. The investigation is in its preliminary stages, and involves members of the Vermont State Police Major Crime Unit, Bureau of Criminal Investigation, Crime Scene Search Team, Field Force Division, and Victim Services Unit. One CSST completes its work processing the scene. The victim's body will be taken to the Chief Medical Examiner's office in Burlington for an autopsy to confirm the identity and determine the cause and manner of death. The name of the victim is being withheld pending notification of relatives. Anyone with information in regards to this is asked to please contact the investigators in this case at the Vermont State Police Berlin Barracks at 802-229-9191, or you can submit an anonymous tip at vsp.vermont.gov. And no further information at this time. And as it progresses, they'll release more information. But that is what has happened, that it was reported that this woman was face down in this pull-off and nobody around, and she's deceased.
It's too bad.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So, people should be aware because no one is in custody and nobody, so people really need to be aware of their surroundings, whether or not it's isolated, you don't know right now. Right. And so just be aware. I think you should always be aware of your surroundings anyway. So, yeah. Just, I mean, the way I am. Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I've been wanting to do
That's
that
it.
since I've been sitting here.
Nothing?
That's it. I think that's it.
All right. Well, in that case, we'll wrap it up. Want to say thank you for joining us.
Oh, absolutely,
And,
anytime. I just
one
like
more-
coming and sitting and listening to you guys.
You're such a brave soul.
I
Yes.
know.
You're-
I try.
Sometimes we can get into a little bit of trouble.
I will say that before we go, that we should mention again, though, as I said, Dick Wabi was here today with Erica Scott, and they talked about Lacing Up for Cancer Walk, and that happens in Lamoille County at the right at the school in Morrisville, and it starts at 1 p.m. and it goes all the way to 10 p.m. And you can actually honor somebody with a luminary at 8 o'clock, I believe it is. I'd have to look at the program again. But you light the luminary, the whole track gets lit up, and then they have an hour of walking amongst the luminaries, just like kind of like a quiet walk. There's fireworks, there's all kinds of vendors and food and music and things to do with that. And Hillary Scott is also there with her family with the bracelets that her grandmother started making a long time ago when she had cancer, in support of to raise money and to kind of bring a little bit of niceness to the not so nice of it all. And yeah.
All right. All right. Well,
That's happening June 28th. June
Okay.
28th, 1 to 10. You can go all day. You can walk. You don't have to walk. You can bring your back chair and sit and eat fried dough and ice cream all day, Michael, if you want to. You and I should go. Go live.
could do that.
Yeah, June 28th.
All right.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for watching the weekly wrap, filmed live here on the Inside Scoop Studios, Main Street, Barre, Vermont. And we hope you have a lovely evening and stay cool, because it's hot out there.